Oh, right now? Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, all right. Welcome to episode 3 of the Nymore Boys Podcast. I am Mitch, joined by Tyler. Welcome back, everybody. How you doing?
I'm doing just dandy, Mitch. How are you?
I don't know. It's been a pretty brutal week so far.
Before you get into that, we got to make sure we shout out our social links.
Oh, true.
So make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube if you are watching. Follow us on all of our social medias at Nymore Boys across the board. Make sure to leave a rating on iTunes. There has been a couple, but only a few. We've got 9 reviews and only 2 left messages. So be sure to leave messages because we do like reading them. At least I do.
And it helps us out a lot, too.
And some of you guys can be funny, too, but don't be mean. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at _Tyler Montgomery. I don't know what Mitch's Instagram is.
It's MitchWeb98. It's my name. And that's all across Twitter and Instagram.
I don't know what my Twitter and stuff is. I don't use it.
MitchWeb98.
Yeah. That's all that I can think of.
Yeah. I mean, obviously our Spotify.
Oh, check out nymoreboys.com. We've got some cool merch there. And you can also see the entire log, the backlog of all of our podcasts. I've got them all up there now.
Yep. Follow our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. Everything's Nymore Boys. It's spelled all the same. Yep. Really easy. And it shouldn't be hard to find at all.
Yeah. Well, we've got some cool stuff to talk about today. A lot of YouTube news and also some stuff that has been going on with Mitch. My life's kind of boring. All I do is sell real estate. Mitch, on the other hand, has had some stuff going on this week.
Yeah, dude. So you want to rewind this whole past week from the beginning. My sister is out on a school trip out to Seattle right now, and they just got to Seattle, and they were going to go see something. I don't know what it was, but they had their big van, and they left it, and they came back, and a bunch of shit was stolen out of it.
Oh
my sister lost a ton of her money, and it wasn't just her. It was like all of her classmates too. People lost clothes, you name it. And then I sent her some I have a job and I work, so I sent her some money because I felt bad because that was a ton of money that she saved up for a trip, which was, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal to send her some money. And then so did Katie, my girlfriend, and she sent her some money too because she felt bad, and it was really nice for her, and it was obviously something she really didn't have to do. And then that happened, and then the next morning she calls me. And she says, yeah, my car has been stolen. And she was all upset about it. And I was thinking, okay, what? Because it's usually in her driveway. And she talked to her mom, and she thought she was at work or something, but because the car was missing. And there was a bunch of cars in the driveway, but that one was gone.
Have you found it yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
actually, we found it. We went a couple days without knowing any idea where it was. And this thing is just a super easy car to spot. It's not a basic car. It's, just bright color. And we ended up getting a report that it was found, and it was found over in Bagley at an abandoned house.
Oh, my God.
And basically, they got there.
Did the police find it?
Yeah, the police found it. Because they said usually 9 out of 10 times they find it. And like I said, this car is pretty easy to spot.
Yeah, bright yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bright yellow, so it's just super easy to spot, but they ended up finding it, and she got pretty excited, and so did I, because she can get her car back. Got there, the right side on her window, it's one of those cranks.
Yeah.
And usually when I ride with her, I sit on the passenger side, so I can never roll down the window, because it's broken.
Yeah.
You can never roll it up or down. It was rolled down somehow, and they couldn't get it back up. What else was wrong with it? The motor was blown.
Blown motor?
Yeah, motor. The car is totaled. Motor was blown. The airbag was taken out of it. Because I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I hear sometimes that there's a little bit of gold in the airbag.
Either that, or you can sell the airbags secondhand.
Yeah, so that was stolen. Then there was some clothes in there that they didn't know whose it was. It could have been theirs. It could have been some other people's shit. So so basically our car is totaled, and then it was just scratched up there, shit carved in it, and it was
Jesus.
Dude, I felt so bad.
And where did it get stolen from?
Her driveway.
Her driveway?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But so I was pretty pissed about that. And obviously, I'd rather have them be able to find the car at least, but
Well, you should be able to get some insurance money for it anyways.
yeah, I mean, so like I said, they found it, and I mean, it's better than having it missing, I guess. So they found it, which is the good news. So she'll probably just save and buy a new car or something because that one is absolutely totaled. So there's that. But on a lighter note, I'm going to Soundset.
Yeah, dude, I'm so jealous.
That's going to be Sunday. This is being recorded on a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yep, this is being recorded on a Saturday, so I'm going to be heading down there. Tonight we're going to be going down. We're going to go halfway down, stop for the night, and then head down for the shorter portion of the drive. But it's going to be pretty sweet because I've never really had an opportunity to go.
Who's performing?
So the main ones that I can really think of that are going to be there, there's going to be Lil Wayne. Funny thing with Lil Wayne, though, is he has had 3 Minnesota shows, and he's been a no-show every time. So I'm really hoping he comes this time. But, yeah, he's like backed out the last 3 times. I think Jeezy's going to be there. I think Lil Uzi's going to be there.
There we go.
Yep.
So
Taylor Bennett, SZA. I like SZA. Trippie Redd.
Taylor Bennett, isn't he the guy that owns
I'm pretty sure isn't that, I'm probably going to get called an idiot for, but isn't that Chance the Rapper's brother?
Oh, I guess I don't know.
I thought but yeah, Flatbush Zombies is going to be there. Joey Badass. So I'm pretty excited about that. Tech 9, which is kind of funny because he's kind of been doing this for a long time.
YBN Corday. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's on one of Logic's new songs, and I think he's going on tour with Logic, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty sweet. And I get to see a lot of artists, and that's the cool thing about festivals is you can see a lot of artists in a short amount of time. This is the kind of the big one in Minnesota. That's not country.
There's a car show too.
Yep. But yeah, this is the big
Oh, it started on Thursday.
Yeah, but that's kind of like just like little. There's really nothing really important. It all starts like Sunday. Yep. See, Minnesota State Fairgrounds, all that.
40 plus artists. 40 plus artists performing within 10 hours. Jesus, they're going to perform
they're going to have multiple stages, and obviously, you know, the big names. Like they're going to have Jeezy, Lil Uzi, those guys. So it's going to be pretty cool to go see all of that. Like I said, I haven't been able to go the last couple years.
Sponsored by X Games Minneapolis.
Yeah, dude. They go
and
crazy.
Bud Light. Hell yeah.
Allie, you remember Allie we went to school with? She does a lot of shooting for concerts, which is pretty sick, and I was talking to her about it. So she's gonna get to go, she's gonna get a VIP pass, and she's gonna go backstage and do a bunch of stuff with that. So she does a lot of that traveling stuff, taking just shooting for concerts, which is pretty sick. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's
Taylor Bennett is Chance the Rapper's brother. I think.
I was gonna say. But yeah, so this is the big one in Minnesota where it's not country. And it's relatively close because I have no interest in going to any of those country festivals.
Seems like everything here, as far as like anywhere near where we live, is just always country music, like all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, I get people go there mainly just to drink at those festivals. Yeah. But I don't know if I could tolerate all that country music, even if I was pretty plastered. So. And this one is relatively close. The other one that's kind of close for music festivals, kind of rap-wise or big artist-wise, is Lollapalooza. Mm-hmm. That's in Chicago.
That'd be really sick to go to.
That'd be pretty dirty. Isn't that in August?
I don't know.
But yeah, so that'll be pretty sweet to go. And I do want to try to hit up some more music festivals for sure, especially if I like this one because this is going to be my first one.
August 1st through the 4th.
Yep. So this won't be my first concert, but it will be my first music festival. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, and they have a crazy lineup for those all the time.
There's so many people.
Mm-hmm. Lollapalooza's nuts, dude. They go crazy. So that'll be pretty sweet. Do you have anything planned this weekend or no?
Nope, I don't.
Just gonna chill?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a high school graduation to go. Jesus. High school graduation to go to tomorrow, but
oh yeah, dude, that's coming up. Yeah, I remember when I graduated high school. Yep,
I don't miss it. I hated high school.
I'm pretty in between on it, where I didn't hate high school, but, I'm not going to go to the extent and say it was the time of my life where, people will harp on you or they'll tell you, they'll say, yeah.
Lollapalooza is expensive.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. Yeah. No, I was kind of like in the middle in high school, though, for sure. I was like, it was fun. Like, I had fun times, but that's not where I wouldn't say I'd miss it.
Last podcast, we talked about drones, remember?
Yeah.
And Taylor actually texted me and said it's a Part 107 drone license.
What does that mean?
Like, remember how I said I think you have to have like some sort of pilot's license to be able to fly a drone commercially? Mm-hmm. So in order to fly it commercially, you need to have a Part 107 drone license. Drone license. Yeah. So
you do need a license for
it? Yep.
Dang. And is that
and you have to take it looks like it's just an exam. Exam is $150. But from what I remember, so we had an agent who used to work in our office who flies drones too. And he said that he has to have like a insane amount of insurance on it. In case it were to go down and hurt somebody,
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Jeez.
But in YouTube news, because we've got a ton of YouTube news, have you seen the FaZe Vs Tfue stuff unfolding? Mm-hmm. So
explain that for people that don't know.
Yeah, so this is from The Verge. Tfue, for those of you who don't know, is a really big Fortnite streamer, like arguably one of the biggest. Mm-hmm. Just absolutely insane, and he makes an absolutely unbelievable amount of money per month. Like, we're talking millions of dollars a month. And nuts. He is in a clan called FaZe Clan. It's been around for a really long time. Ginormous company. And he signed with them about a year ago. But this is what it says on The Verge. One of the world's top Fortnite streamers filed a lawsuit this week claiming that the popular esports organization FaZe Clan has been financially exploiting him. The lawsuit paints FaZe Clan an abusive, pressuring the streamer to do dangerous stunts and drink underage, but the story is ultimately one about getting out of the contract.
Yeah.
So he's basically suing them because
it's like an 80-20 split or something.
Well, Tfue said that they can take 80% of his earnings and broke multiple California laws, but everything that I've heard from FaZe Clan is that it's actually different. It's 20% to FaZe Clan, 80% to the gamer, I guess you could say, is how their contract is. And that seems normal to me.
That would make sense.
Like an 80-20 split is pretty normal. But what else I've heard is that with Tfue, yes, he's under that contract, but all that they've taken is $60,000 from 2 brand deals that they brought him, which was a 20% split.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it was, because I don't know the whole story on it exactly, but I really don't feel bad for Tfue, to be honest with you, because this happens all the time in sports mainly, where players don't like their contract and they can either demand to get traded or stuff like that. But my big thing is, did he not read the contract?
Well, and that's
like,
what
did he not read it?
That's what I've been arguing too, is that, if you're going to sign a contract, you need to read it.
Yeah.
But not only that, FaZe has been trying to negotiate a new contract with them since September of last year. And one of the contracts that they did was absolutely crazy. So apparently one of the contracts that they sent him was they were going to pay him a salary of $1 million a year, which sounds like a lot, but he makes millions a month.
Yeah, he makes way more.
But still, $1 million a year salary from FaZe, and they were going to take absolutely nothing from him. All they wanted him to do was just promote FaZe. But now, as things are kind of unfolding, apparently it's because Tfue wants to create a competing org. Like he wants to create his own organization. And that's why he hasn't signed any of these contracts that they've tried to renegotiate with.
But
so, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Did he... Okay, I mean, I didn't see the contract, obviously, but was there... Because I also heard there was a thing where it was an amount of time. So it was like a 3-year contract, I believe. Could be wrong on it, but I feel... Why would you sign a 3-year contract? Because you don't know what's going to happen in 3 years. Why not just sign? Why not just keep signing 1-year contracts or maybe up to 2? Why you lock yourself in for that long?
Yeah,
it's definitely something I went to. Maybe he wanted to say he was in FaZe at the time because maybe he wasn't super huge
he
yet.
Wasn't. He apparently. So, do you remember the Friday Fortnite thing that Keemstar did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when that started, that was right when Tfue signed. And Keemstar even admitted that if Tfue was not in FaZe, he would have never gotten into the Friday Fortnite tournaments, thing, which really like boosted a ton of people's careers, not only his, but
yeah.
So here it shows this is a tweet from Keemstar, and this is the leaked split contract with Tfue and FaZe. So I guess it is written up that brand deals brought in by FaZe Clan. So brand deals that FaZe Clan actively goes out and finds for Tfue. Tfue gets 20%, FaZe Clan gets 80%.
Which they would find it for him, so it's not even him.
Right. In-game sticker and merchandise, 50-50. So it's like things like creator codes from Fortnite and all that.
And also like those, for example, maybe on Counter-Strike they have those team stickers that you can put on your guns. Is that kind of the same thing?
I don't think that would apply to
No,
Tfue,
but is that the same type of thing?
Yep. Brand deals brought in by the gamer, 50-50. Appearance fees, 50-50. And then prize money, 80% to Tfue, 20% to FaZe Clan. Now, that is a garbage contract, and I don't know why you would ever sign that. And that's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
What your split would be. But FaZe Clan has only, like I said, collected 60,000. And if they were actually going directly off of the split, they would have taken in millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out because
Wouldn't you think most of his money would come from the brand deals and stuff?
No.
You wouldn't?
No. Most of his money comes from streaming and YouTube, and then even his creator code. Apparently, he makes millions a month off just his creator code on Fortnite. Because that split is actually pretty ridiculous. They get a good amount of money for that. But, I mean, both sides have an absolutely absurd amount of money. So who knows how long this will play out. This just... When was this released? I don't remember even.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he's bitching about it. That's literally his fault. He's the one that signed it, not anyone else.
2 days ago.
Yeah. It's literally no one else signed it. It was just him. So, I don't know. I mean, it sucks for him, but hopefully he gets it figured out. But I don't really.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm not really taking sides because I don't really care. But it's still, it's a huge, like, thing within the gaming community. That's because it's a relatively new industry.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of regulations and stuff. But, I mean, what it really comes down to is, especially in a position like that where, you know, you think that this is what you do for your life, you know, your livelihood. Yeah. And you predict that you're going to grow, make sure that you're reading through the contract. Yeah. Because, I mean, you could have easily seen on this contract that was the split laid out. I don't think you could get any more easy than that unless you like color coded it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel, and again, I don't know exactly how much time this, you know, or how long this contract's going on. Like I said, it could be, for example, 3 years.
Well, this is a 3-year contract.
Yeah. Yeah. So why would you, I don't know. If, you know, you could say, oh, if I was in that position, but if I wasn't in that position, I would not sign a 3-year contract. Right. Maybe a two, but.
And I mean, it's hard to look at it both ways too, because I mean, if you're a streamer or a content creator or anything like that, And a company like FaZe, like everybody knows what FaZe is, especially in the gaming community. Everybody knows what FaZe is.
Yeah.
If they offered you a contract, a lot of people are going to be apt just to sign whatever, just to be in FaZe, because chances are your career is going to skyrocket just by being
you're
in FaZe.
Like,
so
yeah,
but I don't know. I think it's his own fault for not trying to negotiate his contract more. But that's interesting. And then Cody Ko versus Jake Paul. This is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
So Cody Ko was on a, I guess you could almost call it like a...
Was he in a barber shop? Or
No,
wasn't he getting his haircut?
Yep, he was getting his haircut, and it's Jeff's Barbershop is a YouTube channel. And this Jeff guy is part of the vlog squad, so like David Dobrik and all those guys.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I guess you could almost call it a podcast, but he's cutting the person's hair while they're talking. And so Cody Ko is getting his hair cut, and then Jeff asked him towards the end, who's your least, like, what YouTuber do you hate the most? And Cody kind of hesitated for a second. He said probably Jake Paul, because he's made a ton of videos about Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Jeff goes, all right, bring him in. And then Jake Paul walks in.
Was he just double crossed or what?
Yeah, he had like security with him and everything. And he came up, and they had originally thought that it was just going to be, them in the same room and try to talk it out. But literally Jake Paul went up and just was like, you're a bully. You're an internet bully.
Didn't Cody Ko say, who am I bullying? He said, the kids. And he says, what kids?
Yeah.
Like, who am I bullying?
Yeah. It's just so funny because, he literally looks like the way that he basically walked in, pointed right at him, is like, you're a bully. I don't like bullies.
You're a bully.
Stop bullying. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
I don't know.
And it's just ironic because it's him.
I know.
And he came up with a video. Cody Ko actually reacted to it.
Yeah, and literally
reacted to it.
In the video that Jake Paul did where he confronted him, before they even got to that part, he was bullying other people in the same video.
And
That's just being a hypocrite at its
Didn't Jake
finest.
Paul say he is just a ball of hate? How do you have so much hatred in you? I don't see how you... And Cody Ko said, I don't know what his editor did, but his editor somehow made me look better.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but he literally just made himself look worse.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just funny because it's the Paul brothers, and they're always doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
You can even go back to the Suicide Forest when his
that
brother
was
Logan.
Logan.
His brother Logan. He recorded a dead body in the forest, and there was memes galore of it. Like I said, these guys have just been doing so much stupid shit for so long. And I actually remember them on Vine. When Vine was a thing, I remember that's where I first found out about Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Cody Ko. A lot of these type of YouTubers, they started on Vine, actually, from what I remember.
Yeah, David Dobrik, Liza Koshy.
You remember Nick Coletti?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of those.
He does like Facebook stuff now, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he was another guy I saw on Vine that I thought was hilarious. And Cody Ko's one of those guys where it seems the vibe he gives me is not dark humor, but
edgy humor.
Yeah, pretty edgy humor, and he just sounds like dry when he talks. But that's what makes it funny to me. So yeah,
his videos are like so simple, and like almost they should be boring because he's so monotone.
Yeah, but he's so funny.
Just his sense of humor is absolutely. It's just so funny.
And I saw one of his tweets. He said it had like 400,000 likes last time I checked. But he said, "What's up, guys? Sorry, I just woke up. I was just cyberbullying people or something."
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm just sitting thinking, dude, Jake Paul's just an idiot. But yeah, he's been doing stupid shit like that forever, and he always just tries to stir the pot, which I guess is smart, because
drama's good for views.
What is there's no such thing as bad publicity or something like that.
He said that because when he got in a bunch of trouble from their old house, because he like basically went out and like jumped up on the news van and then rode his dirt bike down the center.
Didn't he say, what are those? So
yeah.
So I guess he's doing it right, but I wouldn't go about it that way by him being an idiot like that. But no, I just like seeing interesting stuff on YouTube because I go on YouTube a lot. So I watch that a lot before I go to bed every night. And sometimes I feel like I'm staying up too late watching it. And I used to do that when I was in school too. I'd just be up way too late watching YouTube. Holes.
But on another note, you never sleep, it seems like. Or if you do, like, there's been times where you've just stayed up all night. And even when I can
go all night, yeah.
When we were in school, wasn't there like a couple times where you literally stayed up for like 2 days straight?
There was one time, yeah. Well, right after we graduated, there was a time where I didn't go to bed for almost 3 days, but it was like 2.5. I just couldn't sleep. I was just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Or what? I was just woke, as you could say. I don't know. I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't relax. I was like, not nervous. That's not the word, but I don't know. But yeah, I can easily, and that's really not a flex. That should not be something I'm flexing about because that is not something to be proud of. But yeah, I can stay up for a long, long time if I want to. Which I wish I was one of those people that had a normal sleep schedule sometimes where I could just go to bed at, 11 or maybe midnight, which I to me, I think is early. And then wake up at like 7 or 8 or even 9, something like that, which it's funny because I have no problem. So for work, sometimes I'll work till close or something, and then I have to open the next day. So I don't get in bed till like 2 in the morning, 2:30, and I gotta be up at 8 or 7, and I just function. I can work a 10-hour shift, 12-hour shift fine. I don't know, it's weird, but yeah, I definitely wish I could have a normal sleep schedule because I get kind of jealous sometimes.
Yeah, my sleep schedule was really good for a while, and then I don't know. I've been staying up later, but I get up at 6 a.m. every day.
Yeah, like that sounds terrible. I can do it, but I'd rather not. Well,
the way that I look at it is you get so much more done in the morning.
Oh, of course. I feel like such a peso when
you sleep till like 2
or even noon.
Yeah.
I feel like such a peso where
think about this. If you sleep till noon, I've already had 6 hours in.
Exactly. So you think of all the stuff you're missing out on and how much you could get done, but you're just being ahead.
I used to wake up like right before I had to go somewhere,
Yeah.
And then I watched a couple videos about people who get up super early.
Yeah.
Like a lot of billionaires get up before 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it for a few days, and
it's hard,
dude. It's so hard because even if you go to bed at like 10:30, you're still not getting your full 8 hours of sleep. Waking up at 5.
Yeah, what is that? 7?
That's 7.
Yeah, I mean I could do 7 for sure. I can honestly do 3, but
it's terrible for your health.
Oh, it's not good for your health at all. And that's not what I'm saying, but I could definitely do it. Should I do it? No. Only times I can really get up early and having no problem with it is when I can go fishing or hunting. Mainly hunting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I wake up and I'll go turkey hunting. You got to wake up at like 4.
Yeah.
And then you got to sit out there. And turkey, I don't know.
The only time I ever get up at 3 or 4 is when I have to get like my flight leaves at like 6 or something.
Yeah.
So you got to get up just stupid early so you're at the airport. And I know a lot of people even stay up all night.
What's your weirdest flight that you ever had as far as time-wise? Or usually you get pretty lucky with your flights?
Yeah, we normally get pretty lucky. We tend to, whenever I go anywhere, we try to just get nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So you fly out of like Minneapolis or something and you go nonstop to your destination.
Yeah.
But there was one time when I went to LA a couple years ago, and we flew out of Fargo. And our first flight was from Fargo to Chicago. So we went away from California, and then from Chicago to California.
That sucks.
And on the way back, I remember because we were on a American Airlines flight, and they have it was a big plane, and they had like the map, where you can see where you are in the in the sky. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking at it, and we were almost right over top of Fargo.
Really?
but we were flying to Chicago.
That makes no sense.
I know. So yeah, so then you get to Chicago, and then you've got a 2-hour layover.
Oh yeah.
In Chicago, and then you get on a tiny little plane from Chicago to Fargo.
You ever had any really long layovers?
No, not
They
that
suck.
I can remember.
So when I fly, I usually get the cheapest thing. I do not care. I'd rather just save the money, but I usually have to bite the bullet in some way or another, so that whether that results in a really long layover or, stopping somewhere.
Yeah.
Even just a terrible flight time. I remember coming home for Christmas because I played in SoCal this year for a junior hockey team, and we get a little break over Christmas. And I flew back home, and my flight left because we actually had a showcase in Vegas.
Yeah.
Big tournament in Vegas, so I technically flew to Vegas. And then my flight was at, I think, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Jeez.
And our last game that day was, I think it ended at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So I was at the airport for like 8 hours or so. I don't know if I'm doing my math right. But yeah, so I was there for a long time. And then I landed in Minneapolis at, I think, 6 in the morning, 6:30 maybe.
Yeah.
And then my girlfriend actually came to pick me up, which she's crazy. I don't know why she did that, but I appreciate that she did. But yeah, she came and picked me up from Duluth down there, which is about 2.5 hours, I believe.
Yeah.
So then I ended up going with her, and we went back up to Duluth. So I didn't stop traveling until about 9 in the morning, which is funny because sometimes I'm not even up at that time.
Yeah, it's I don't even know what you would like if you have I've seen like some layovers of like 10 hours. Like, what do you even do for 10 hours? Like, there's only so many bars you can go sit at in 10 hours before you're just absolutely hammered.
Yeah, and I wasn't even 21 yet, so I literally just had to sit there and go on YouTube. I did so much YouTube on my phone. And then the places that I really don't like to stop I guess I don't mind them, but places I really don't like to stop for layovers. I had to go to Salt Lake City a lot for layovers because, like I said, I played out west. I was up in Tahoe one year, and I was down in SoCal the other. And it always resulted in me flying back home. I had to go stop in Salt Lake. One time I had to stop in Phoenix, and then one time I stopped in Denver. I've done multiple flights back and forth from here to West Coast, and it's always those two spots because they're just kind of central. And like I said, I take whatever's cheapest.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're really long layovers, but sometimes they are 10-minute, 15-minute layovers, and I have to mob across the airport to the next gate, to the next terminal. Or no, not terminal. The gate, right? Because terminals are two different buildings, right?
Yeah, in some.
I don't know, dude. Sometimes I've had to mob from one place to the other. My flight lands. I'm sitting there because you feel like you're just trapped like a bunch of cattle in that little plane because you're waiting to get off. And I'm just scratch and clawing to get off that flight. But I don't want to be a head ass, so I just kind of sit and wait. And then I get off and I got to cruise like a guy speed walk all the way to my next flight. And I might even be breaking a little bit of a sweat depending on how fast I'm going. And I get there and I'm like the last guy on the flight. So I've definitely cut it close before. Also,
you see people absolutely hauling the mail in the airport.
Dude, those they're like escalators, but they're flat.
Dude, those things are sick.
Dude, I speed walk on those and I mob.
You ever sprinted on one of those
No.
things? You are flying.
Dude, those are sick.
Yeah,
so
dude, I did that once and you are absolutely cruising.
How early do you like to get to airports? Are you a last minute type of guy or you get there really early?
There's been some times where, especially when I travel with my parents, they want to get there 2 hours early. And there's been times where like we normally try to fly out of Fargo if we can.
Yeah.
And we got there 2 hours early, and I'm not even kidding.
There's nothing to do there.
From check-in through security to our gate took like 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Fargo's really not too busy. When I had to fly, because like I said, I played in SoCal for a bit, so I would fly to LAX occasionally. You could also fly to Burbank as well, but LAX is what I usually did. Such a busy airport.
Yeah.
Such a busy airport.
Yeah.
And where I played, I was probably about 20 miles north of LA.
Yeah.
It takes you a while to get down there. And I had a flight, I think, at 11 in the afternoon. I left where I was playing at probably 7 or 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier. And I was cutting it really close. I was cutting it close, and I wanted to try to leave, and traffic is so hit and miss, dude. I remember one time we had to go pick up one of our buddies from the airport. And
dude, the 8-lane highway there is nuts.
Yeah, well, one of my teammates, he was from the area, and he had a BMW.
What is it, like the 405?
Yeah, so he had a Beamer, and it's a pretty nice one. But this guy that we went to go get, his flight landed, I think, 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. We mobbed. We got to LA in about 20 minutes, maybe even quicker than that, because there was really no traffic. It is so traffic dependent there. Mm-hmm. It could take you 2 hours. It could take you, in that occasion, 20 minutes. And I stopped paying attention. I was just on my phone, and my buddy Gunnar was like, "Yeah, we're here." Did you hit me?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and the craziest thing is when I was out there, I don't know if it's still the law there or not, but on the freeway, in between the HOV lane and the first lane, motorcycles can cut through the middle.
Yeah.
And it was right when they had just made that legal.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding you, in a span of a mile and a half, we saw 4 motorcycle accidents.
Yep. Dude.
And they just literally just mob right by you.
They cruise. Are they like those little...
It can be anything. It can be a crotch rocket. It can be Harley Davidson.
And they also have those they have those carpooling lanes.
That's the HOV lane.
Yep. So they have those as well. No, and then it's almost, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's pretty impossible to get pulled over on an 8-lane highway.
Yeah. You got to be really flying.
Especially if you're on a bike.
Yeah.
And a cop tries to pull you over, you can escape.
That's
easy.
why, have you ever seen those videos on YouTube, like GoPro videos, where those guys just literally just fly to get away from cops? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Because cops can't do anything about it. I mean, they're on a little bike and they can fly through traffic.
Right through traffic.
Oh my God, yeah. So it's, I don't know. I want to get a moped this summer, low key, just to kind of ride it around town.
It'd be so sick.
You know, I wouldn't take it out on the highway or nothing. It would probably top out at like 45. I don't know. I really wouldn't want anything crazy. Just kind of cruise around town, especially on a nice day in the summer.
You should deliver a pizza.
That'd be sick, dude.
That'd be so funny.
I would do it.
Oh my God, just strap.
Could you imagine?
Just put like a rack on the back and just strap the pizza to it.
Did you ever get any when you delivered? Did you ever get any like weird tips?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Oh, dude, I've been pretty unlucky with those before. I wouldn't say unlucky, but I've been offered beer before on deliveries.
Didn't an old lady kiss you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was disturbed.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, nothing ever really weird happened to me other than like people inviting me into their house.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not too bad, but I'm kind of suspect about it now, especially when that incident happened.
Yeah.
Because I was actually in Nymore, right?
Yeah.
And it was just a normal house. I think I delivered a taco salad. And usually when I go up to the door, I'll say, "Oh, right here, I have your pizza." But I got there, and it said a little sign that said use back door. So I said, okay. Went to the back, and it's just big lady. Big lady answered the door, and she was probably 50, 60. Maybe, I don't know. She smoked hella darts, so maybe she was probably like 30, but just looked old.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, here's your pizza." And she said, "I didn't order pizza." "Oh, okay. Sorry. Taco salad. Here you go." And she gave it to me, and she tipped me pretty good.
Yeah, the kiss was a good tip.
It was a good tip, yeah. So I think she tipped me a pretty good thing. I mean, it was just for the one taco salad, so I was like, okay, like, sick. And then she said, "High five." Held her hand up. I was kind of weirded out, but I just said, fuck it. And I was going to like high five her, and she like pulled me in and like kissed me.
Oh my God.
And I was absolutely shocked.
Did you say anything, or did you just turn around and leave?
I didn't know what to say. I just said, "Have a nice day," and she kind of bye like that. And I got my car, my mouth just tasted like cigarettes and cherry vodka.
Ugh.
Absolutely disgusting, and I was absolutely scarred by it.
I still can't believe.
And
that.
this chick just had a big keg hanging out. She was wearing like a wife beater, one of those like dirty white tank tops. Oh my goodness, dude, it was absolutely disgusting. But I remember that, and that was probably, I think that was one of my first like month or two there.
Yeah, that was
when
shortly
I started
after
working.
you started, because I remember when you told me that, and I couldn't believe it, because when I worked there, it was me, you, and Jacob, and we were all delivering like all the time.
Yep.
And you were the only one that ever got weird things happen.
Always, dude. I got tips with a Logitech keyboard and mouse. I think I mentioned that to you before. Like I said, people tried to tip me in beer before. Just random stuff, dude. You can definitely see some weird things, and if you have to go inside people's houses, you definitely do see some strange things for sure. I've been to houses where it just...
You ever been scared by a dog? Like you walk up and there's just some big dog, like a German Shepherd or something.
There was one place, and I don't want to say it on here, but you probably know where it is. They have 3 Rottweilers, and they're chained up, and the length of these chains are the exact length where they're not long enough to get to you, but they're close enough where they can like get their slobber on you, barking and like trying to bite you. And you got to walk up these steps, and there's, like I said, there's 3 of these mutts just chained outside, and you think you are probably going to die.
You just run as fast as you can.
Yeah, and I'm a dog person too, and I'm not really, I would say, scared of dogs, but these things were just absolute mutts, dude.
Yeah.
And I
think anybody, no matter how much of a dog person they are, if there's a huge dog that actually looks like it's pissed coming at you, anybody's going to be scared.
You ever see those like pictures of those jacked pit bulls?
Yeah,
where they're standing like that, they got that wide stance, and
nope, screw that. That thing will rip your face off in no time.
Yeah, dude, they do not care, man. But I remember that was one place I definitely hated going to. But usually, most places I don't mind seeing dogs.
Yeah.
I'll be in my car, and like one time there was a couple, like a black and a yellow lab that came up and greeted me. I was like, hey, man. Yeah. So I usually don't mind dogs when I see them.
Okay, let's oh, never mind. I don't want to say nothing.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you what your what the highest speed you got going delivering a pizza, but that's probably not a good thing to say.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, the Explorer doesn't really top out too fast anyway.
True.
So
the windshield wipers are just going too fast.
Yeah, I drove a '99 Ford Explorer. You know, it's an old one, and yeah. So even if I did want to go too fast,
I'm not joking. His windshield wipers will go off randomly.
Yeah, I hate it because
do they still do that?
Yeah, so it'll be a nice summer day. Could be 70, 80 out. You know, sunny, not a cloud in sight,
down,
and I'm
windshield
driving.
Wipers just going.
And they just go, and I can't turn them off. And people say, "Oh, can you turn those off?" I say, "No, they are. They're not on," and they just go. And it takes me off because I look like an absolute idiot driving around town. My windshield wiper is just bucking on a nice summer day.
The first time I rode with you in that, they just kept going off. I'm like, Mitch, it's not raining out. And you're like, they just won't stop.
Mm-hmm. And I went out to go play. I don't trust that piece to make it across the country, so I wouldn't have a car where I would play. So I'd fly, given those airport stories. And I come back one winter, and the driver's side door handle is just ripped off. And I asked my dad what happened to it. He said, "Oh, it was cold one day, and I tried to open it, and I just yanked the old door handle off." So I don't have a door handle on my driver's side. It's one of those things I could probably fix pretty easy, but I just haven't taken the time to do. And it makes my life so inconvenient. I hate it because I'm in and out of my car, and I always lock my... I always lock my car.
Yeah.
Obviously, and now especially because you saw what happened to my girlfriend's car where someone just got in it and just drove off. So I always lock my car now, even if.
All right, I need to ask you a question. So, when you've been delivering, has there ever been a time where you've went to a house and you are literally so intimidated to go up to the door?
Oh yeah.
Like, there was a couple times. I remember one time I delivered to, let's just say, maybe not the nicest area.
Yeah.
And it was just before closing, so it's pitch dark outside, right? I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and there's just one street light, just one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not kidding. Instead of pulling into the driveway, I went and I turned my car around, stopped right at the end of the driveway, left my car running with the door open.
So you could just mob.
So I could just book it.
Yeah,
if
dude.
anything turned south.
I've been some sketchy places for sure. And
I delivered to one guy in some pretty crappy apartments, and he only opened his door maybe 3 inches.
Out, yeah.
Just enough to maybe slide the pizza in sideways.
Yeah.
And he handed me his money, and he was scratching himself and looking all over
Must
the
have
place.
been a crackhead, dude.
Dude, totally tweaking out.
I'm sure it's been the same for you, but I've also been to places where I knock on the door and it opens, and just the smell of weed just reeks, and it's it just blasts right in your face.
That never happened to me,
dude. Because I've been
when I was delivering, but it did happen to me once when I worked at McDonald's. I worked an overnight shift, and I was in the back where you collect the money, you know?
Yeah.
And I opened the window, and this guy rolled down his window, and it was like, I swear to God, he had like 18 skunks in there. It's like the amount that it smelled.
Yeah.
And he hands me his money or whatever, and then I like go to close the window, and he just sits there and looks at me. Like he's just looking at me still. I mean, it's got to be like 30 seconds to almost a minute after I take his money. So I open the window back up. He's like, "Is my food coming?" I'm like, "Dude, you got to drive up to the next window to get your food.
No,
I don't give you the food back here."
Yeah, you pay for it first.
He's like, "Oh, all right, man. Thanks."
Dude,
it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah, dude, it's funny, man. Seeing some of those, just I don't know, they're just cooked out of their mind. In Tahoe, there was a lot of stoners, dude. Actually, just everywhere I play, there's just a lot of stoners.
It's legal
everywhere.
there now, isn't it?
It's legal. It's legal in that state. So, dude, there's just so many stoners, and it's funny just trying to watch them function.
Well, Mitch, I've got to ask you one more question before we wrap things up here. This one's for Phil Heiss. If you're listening, this one's for you. What did you do in Phil's car?
I drove it. I swear, dude, nothing ever happened in that car. One of my teammates decided to scum me and said I just did this dirty shit in his car, which never happened, because if I did that, I would have lost my car privileges. So I want to have a brain when I would take his car, because I was the only one where in my house that had a job.
You ended up losing the privilege.
Yeah, I ended up getting it back, though, but I literally did nothing, and I was so pissed because I was innocent and I did nothing in that car. And to this day, I still get given shit for it. But yeah, no, I've done nothing bad in that car besides drive it. One time I was for the boys, and I decided to fill her up all the way with gas, and Phil was like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be so for the boys." So that's what I do. Yep. You know, so I topped her off.
And you did some dirty stuff in your car.
I would never.
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure to hit that bell notification so you get notified every time that we do upload a new video. Follow Mitch and I on Instagram. Everything will be linked down below. And leave us a rating on iTunes. I really like actually reading those.
Literally just leave ratings.
Leave ratings and literally just comment something. Anything.
Just comment what.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's up to you. You can be creative, but just comment something. It makes it so our podcast can be found easier. I'm pretty sure. So.
And if this is your first podcast you've ever listened to, we do have 2 previous podcasts up, so make sure to go listen to those. And anything else you want to add? Oh, go check out NymoreBoys.com, see all the merch that we've got up there, and see the entire backlog of our previous podcasts.
And that should do it. See you guys.